Gloves on, legs, hearts on fire. This ain't no game, it's desire. Sweat and blood pound the floor. Fight night, here we go. The bell rings loud, the punches flow. Step in the ring, it's all for show. Bright lights cut through the haze. Every round feels like a blaze. No retreat, it's time to go. Feels like a blaze. No retreat, it's time to go.
Let's get it on!
Sprawl and brawl, ground and pound. Get ready for an MMA showdown. Now, the ultimate Octagon insiders, Sean and Tristan DuCross.
All right, fight fans, welcome to the DuCross Brothers. I'm Tristan DuCross. Along my side, as always, is the partner in crime, Sean DuCross. We are the DuCross Brothers. We cross that line Thursday nights at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Oh, Sarek Shields, what's up, my brother? Won his debut fight in the PFL. Congratulations, my brother. If you don't know who that guy is, please remember his name, Sarek Shields. He is going to become one of the baddest dudes on the planet, and you're going to want to remember that name. But, man, dude, Sean, no breaks, just hands. That's all we do now, right? There's no breaks. It's going hard, going ham for an hour. We will shout out cities, we'll shout out fight fans, we'll shout out fighters, whoever joins us. So drop your picks in the chat. And if you want us to talk about it or address it, just drop it right in the chat, and we will address it live right here on TikTok. Believe it. We are doing this. We got WWE Saturday night main event. We have Goldberg's retirement. Controversy around that. Seemed to be a controversial show if you think about it. Usyk, was it a low blow? Was it a low blow? UFC 318 in the Bayou. Where does this leave the man, the myth, the legend, Dustin Poirier? You're going to want to tune in to hear that segment. Trust me on that one. So much chaos has happened over the weekend. And trust me, we're just getting started. It is just the tip of the iceberg. We got the farewell fight between Goldberg and Gunther on Saturday night main event. Did anybody tune into that, or were you more focused on the other fights that were all around? Because there was so much action going on in the combat sports world. If it's pro wrestling, not pro wrestling, it didn't really matter. But, man, don't get it twisted, Sean. It was a wild weekend. I was flipping back and forth. I was trying to watch as much combat sports as I possibly could, right, Sean? And something that I came running into the house to tell my dad that Goldberg was going to fight against Gunther. And my dad's like, on what? Because I had my phone. And I was like, I'm watching it on Peacock. It's on NBC right now. So he put it on, right? I was watching it. Don't get me wrong, man. Huge Goldberg fan. Met him several times. Dude has almost broke me twice. That's a different story. But that dude has almost crushed me multiple times by a bear hug.
But it's not a conversation for a different time, Tristan, because it can tap into the situation here.
Okay.
Because of his comments he made on Ariel Helwani. So we'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
Because it kind of takes away from the Saturday night main event, his retirement in Atlanta. His comments basically buried that entire show.
This is true.
We'll touch on that in a minute.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the event in itself because it turned into not necessarily chaos, but it turned into an interesting show outside of the show.
Right.
And that being the fact that Seth Rollins got hurt.
Indeed.
Jelly Roll is apparently training as a professional wrestler.
Not a bad choke slam on Jimmy Kimmel.
And Goldberg's retirement.
Yes.
The three big things. Again, this is the problem I have right now. We're not going to talk about the two big stories real quick. The problem that I have, Tristan, is, again, why is it that the WWE now feels obligated in this moment to bring in another person from outside of wrestling, have them train, have them compete in a ring? Doesn't that feel like what WCW did with David Arquette? That's got to start devaluing the product again.
I don't know if it's necessarily going to devalue the product, and this is why I'll say this. Who operates the WWE now? TKO, right?
Yeah.
What is TKO all about? TKO is all about the bottom line and the bottom dollar. And at that bottom dollar, how are we going to convert fans who are Jelly Roll fans over to the WWE, Sean?
True.
You're going to put one of the biggest stars right now in music in a WWE ring. Everybody's fandom, one place or another. Admit it, Sean. Wouldn't you would have loved to got in a WWE ring? Like learn pro wrestling?
I mean, I've thought about it before, but it's not. But no, it's not something I'm going to go out of my bucket list and say, let's do it because I've got all the money in the world to do it.
Right. But
Just
these
because
these celebrity, I was going to say athletes, don't call them that, right? Yep. Only one's an athlete, and his name is Logan Paul. But Jelly Roll's going to bring in a new audience and a new venture. They were going to try to do that with Travis Scott until he decided to bust the face of Cody Rhodes. What you see right now is exactly what the entertainment value is. They still don't use pro wrestling, except that the look and the feel is kind of different. But when I look at the product, I don't look at it as pro wrestling. Does that make sense?
No.
So when I watch Raw or when I watch, I'll use Raw. So when I watch Raw on Netflix, that does not look like a wrestling show to me.
No, it looks more like entertainment.
So if you're dealing with Raw, that brand, right? I'm taking the entity out completely out of like NXT and SmackDown. I'm just using the Raw because that's essentially where it is. That is 100% entertainment. Who's going to carry what? There's no rhyme or reason on Netflix. So they could do whatever they want, say whatever they want, do whatever they want, and get away with it. So why wouldn't you bring in Jelly Roll to tag with Randy Orton? So now not only do you have a big name and a big name, then you look across the ring and you see another big name in Drew McIntyre, who has not been afraid to cross the line over into the real world aspect.
So let me play devil's advocate then.
Sure.
Nobody's mentioned it. but I can pull it from what you just said. That is, so if you're going over for the crossover appeal or the entertainment value or the shock value of Jelly Roll, right?
Yep.
Doesn't that seem kind of desperate?
Sometimes.
So if you want to think of the latter, then is it interesting that they're doing this now when there's been rumblings that the viewership on Netflix has been dwindling and that there's been financial issues with TKO?
Right.
And then, guess what? Jelly Roll's been training in Florida at the Performance Center.
Right.
And then now he's here. Now he's doing a SummerSlam. Doesn't that feel a little desperate to get more fans, more eyes, more viewership?
I can understand that. And then that begs me to differ is that I want to see the numbers then.
But we're not going to see the
numbers.
No,
I know. But that kind of that's where my head kind of goes is like, well, if you're playing that devil's advocate, you're playing that narrative, then my second thought would be is, dang, I want to see the numbers, because if that's true, that would make sense because
it was mentioned about a couple of weeks ago about how TKO was financially in trouble. To what extent, nobody really specified. But then you go this route. It kind of puts validity behind that comment if you really want to think about it and say maybe there is a little bit of truth to it. Do I still think, Tristan, that at the end of the day, TKO is 100% hurting? Absolutely not. No way, shape, or form. But are they at some point losing a little bit of money? Probably.
Okay.
Probably, because they're probably not moving the needle like they thought they were going to move the needle collectively. The heavy hitter probably is still UFC for the money draw. It was a smart play to get the big money draw by moving to Netflix.
So, money, we've heard it, right? You're talking about money. Bring it back to just real quick back to Saturday night event, right? You're talking about the money aspect. It was supposed to be Goldberg's farewell, right?
Right.
But was it more about Goldberg or was it more about Jelly Roll and him being in that ring with, because this is what I'm hearing, right? My 2 ears. Is that I've heard more about Jelly Roll taking the Claymore kick than I heard anything about Goldberg's farewell fight or Goldberg's farewell speech from anybody else in the WWE, outside of the WWE, except for Bill Goldberg himself. Am I wrong? The only people I've heard anything about what happened with Goldberg's farewell is from Goldberg, right?
Right.
But yet the main topic coming out of Saturday night is what? RK Roll.
But
they go on Jimmy Kimmel.
But also, Tristan, the other comment too that's coming out of there is the health of Seth Rollins.
Yes.
So isn't it interesting that you hear more about Jelly Roll, you hear more about Seth Rollins, and then Goldberg goes on Ariel Helwani and then spews this? Because he can't let things go. And then that goes back to the comment that you made earlier, is that Goldberg on multiple occasions had put you in a headlock, made you feel a little bit uncomfortable.
This is true.
But he's also, Tristan, not the easiest guy to go up to or the most approachable guy to go up
He's really
there.
intimidating, yes.
So,
But every time he sees you and I, he's like, hey, DuCross Brothers. And the next thing I know, I'm in a chokehold because he's free. I'm 5'10" and he's 6 foot something.
But it's always been one of those awkward things.
Yep.
Like he's told us before is that, oh, you want an interview? Go ahead and email so-and-so. Email me. I'll answer. Follow me on social media. I'll answer. He's never answered us, though. But when we see him out in public here at Pachanga, he has.
100%, yeah.
But when we've physically tried to get him on the show, he's standoffish. Because we, no offense, we don't benefit him. He would probably benefit us. But that's the persona that he gives.
Yes.
So to hear him go on Ariel Helwani and talk about him and about, how I'm pissed off because of what they did. Oh, it should have been on a PLE. Oh, it should have started in January. It's those moments that you had a career in wrestling that on all accounts you probably should never have had.
No.
You were rough around the edges, but you came in a moment that spiked WCW through the roof. But that was about it. You reached a peak that fans loved and adored. But at the same time, when you look at the evolution of wrestling, he never evolved. He had every chance. He trained in Muay Thai. He trained in MMA. He's a combat practitioner.
He could have changed and adapted his technique and his wrestling skill into something a little bit different than anything else because of his background in training. But he still insisted on being the Bill Goldberg of yesteryear. That's not going to cut it in this year, this generation, as you start to get younger in the tooth. I just think that there's some truth to it. They did him wrong. They did him dirty on the speech. I get it. But man, you weren't expecting freaking Seth Rollins to blow out his knee and all of a sudden change of plans. You got to go 14 minutes, bro. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Plans change. Like,
it's just a
injuries happen. It was the wrong time for him to go. I'm going with the under. That I'm certain that match was not supposed to go 14 minutes too. But once Seth Rollins busted up his knee, tore his knee up, and probably now is done for WrestleMania again. I mean,
we know Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins has shown numerous of times that he's been able to come back from injuries in quick fashion. So I wouldn't completely rule him out for WrestleMania.
Fair.
But stop doing the moonsault.
Yeah.
Just don't do it. Not worth it.
The fact that he got injured. And then fast forward onto Raw.
And CM Punk goes 41
minutes in a gauntlet. And now we're going to see CM Punk in the main event again.
Against Gunther.
In SummerSlam. The most dangerous guy is Gunther. I would say he's the most respectable now WWE champion.
But again, that was a given with the fact that Gunther is a heel. You weren't going to have Braun Breaker go over him.
No, that's true.
But you want to look at future plans. Future me is saying that CM Punk walks out of SummerSlam with the world title.
No.
And then Braun Breaker breaks him in half, and he wins the world title at the next PLE.
I don't like that. I'm just saying, don't like that one bit. Don't pencil that. Please don't.
I'm penciling that. Writing's on the wall. And then when you come back after that SummerSlam event, you go, damn, Sean, really?
But
hate to tell you,
there's also an elephant in the room. Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns. Return. I was listening to...
That's still a thing.
That's okay.
Still a thing.
Okay. I seriously, though, every time we go to these new venues and these new bigger events, when the fans hijack an event, please make it good. And the fact that the whole 45,000 people were chanting, Roman Reigns. I was like, wait. What are they chanting? And then you listen a little bit closer, and you're like, I got you. And then it's OTC1, And I'm like, why one? What's OTC one?
The original tribal chief.
Yes, but now that's a thing circling on the internet. Is that his new nickname, OTC one? And it's like, here we go again. They hijacked it. They made it something.
But again, why does he have to be OTC one? He's the original tribal chief.
Right.
Why
do you have to add the one? He's the only one.
Like I like
So
thanks for coming back in the midst of Seth Rollins' injury, but like, bro, what are we doing?
Yes, but so it's unclear what his role is going to be at SummerSlam. So think about it, Sean. Elephant in the room is Roman Reigns. Anything can happen. Anything can switch because now Seth Rollins is out of the picture.
It's one of those things that, like, what happens if he interferes in the CM Punk versus Gunther match?
Mm-hmm.
He still has bad blood with CM Punk.
See,
let that one marinate.
right?
Like, could he pull a Seth Rollins and ruins his moment?
But you know what didn't ruin somebody's moment? Is I got to do this. I have to do this. Sean, you ready? Are you ready? Because this is the greatest clip ever. BKFC. This is where I want to say, yeet. Yeet is going down. Thank you, BKFC, the Championship Summit, because that was bananas. Part of the chaos ensued. And this was the greatest clip of ever known man.
Bring it around now.
Ring in a while, but I know he loves bare knuckle, and I'd love to face off against him anytime. Anytime we're looking for the action.
Yeah, you're welcome back, because I welcomed you back. Yeah. October 11th is your date, and you'll dance for me, boy. You'll dance for the owner, and then we can talk. But your date is October 11th. Michael Perry, the return of Platinum. And we've got some hell of an announcement for an opponent for you. One of the baddest men to ever grace the Ultimate Fighting Championship when it comes to bare knuckle. And he's going to throw down with you in front of me for my viewing pleasure. And then I'll decide if you're worthy.
And then I'll decide if you're worthy. Whether you like him or not, Conor McGregor, Sean, whether you like it or not, admit it. This guy is money when you put this mic in front of him. The fact that I looked at Conor McGregor and David Feldman, the madman that got Conor, and these two that are together is absolutely perfection. And every single person has doubted this as a clown show. It's not going to be around. It ain't going to last. Well, 7 years later, it's still here. And it's only getting bigger and stronger as we continue to go. And people want to continue to say their demise will come in 2 years, but will it? And why I challenge that narrative is because something absolutely special and phenomenal that came out of the BKFC Championship Summit, which was the first of its kind, because I ain't never seen the UFC ever do anything like this, is have every single champion at a summit in the same place at the same time. And the one thing that came out of this that Sean had you and I talking, and you and I absolutely ecstatic when we heard it, was because we have spoken about this ad nauseum. There needed to be a union, correct?
But
a fighter's pension, there needed to be.
But before we get to that, let's talk about that Conor McGregor Mike Perry clip.
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Because you asked me what I was watching that day.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm watching the Fighter Summit. Let's see what this is. There was so many moments, but that was one of the most polarizing moments. But that's the thing that Conor McGregor does so well, is promoting. But if you play back that clip and you listen, he says, former UFC champion, baddest man on the planet, and I'll make you dance for me. That's the one thing that, to me, signals at the end of the day, it will be formally announced that Conor McGregor will step foot into a bare-knuckle ring and square off October 11th against Mike Perry.
How crazy would that be, him stepping inside that cage like that?
For sure, that changes the game. Because then that means, what about his contract with the UFC? What about him wanting to fight on that White House card against Michael Chandler? The expectations now are through the roof. The evolution of bare knuckle BKFC and what David Feldman has done over there continues to change and alter the game. And you mentioned it briefly, that we'll touch on it in a minute. But you saw it for the first time that you could not have thought that fight summit, that champion fight summit, was going to go any other way when you have all world champions of your promotion from all around the world in one place, under one roof. And you got Mike Perry doing what Mike Perry does, talking junk to everybody.
I would love to bring Dave Feldman onto the show. I really would. Or Conor McGregor, if that would ever be possible, which I don't know.
You probably have more likelihood of reaching out and finding a way to get a hold of David Feldman.
100%. But still, nonetheless. David Feldman, Conor McGregor, or just even Conor McGregor if you want to talk about it, is absolutely rewriting the rule book as we go for combat sports and what it's supposed to be. This guy is on another level. It's almost like his business savvy mind is all of a sudden switched to a different gear, because BKFC announced what, Sean? Their biggest tournament.
Oh, for sure.
For what?
$25 million. Well, I'd say purse, but it's split up over how many wins you get in the tournament.
So,
but it's the baddest, what? The baddest man? The baddest man tournament?
Yes.
And then you got the baddest tournament coming up too?
So, open weight tournament, I think it's like 200-something pounds versus 185 pounds. It's interesting because the main piece of the puzzle is $15 million. We're going to put these guys' body through the ringer in a bare-knuckle championship fight. Back in the day, I'm going to draw a blank on this, but there was a fight back in the day that people used to do, and it used to be on TV for a hot minute. What was it?
It was on TV?
Yes, it was Spike.
It was on Spike.
Yes. Oh, my God, I'm going to draw a blank on it. Well, Sean does some research. I could do some research and stuff like that. But it was two fighters, and they fought for a massive payday. Okay? That's what this reminds me of. And you look at the price tag that is put on here, and every ex-UFC person known to man wants to talk about, this is the doom. This is the end all. This is the coup de grace. This is it for BKFC.
Are you talking about the Contender, the boxing one?
No.
No? Okay.
No. Before that. I want to say Baron Corbin used to do it.
The Tough Man contest?
Yes.
With the white gloves? I mean, with the yellow gloves?
Maybe. Can I see it?
Let me see here.
Tough man competition, maybe?
Let me go to YouTube.
It was combat sports, right?
Yeah. Tough man competition, I think is where it is.
Maybe. But that's what this tournament reminds me of. If that's what it is, you can confirm that or not, but I think that's where I'm going with that. Because that's what this reminds me of. It reminds me of something from that era of time, and now we get it in real time, but we get it bare knuckle. But, I mean, for Conor McGregor, Sean, BKFC's going global now. They have this $25 million tournament. This is now 100% all about attitude, cash, violence, and appeal. And in that kind of nuance, as a champion, as a fighter, y'all don't get pension, but you guys talk about money and longevity in the sport. What can an organization do to help you and benefit you long term? Well, Conor and David Feldman, both of them, both their heads together. Conor gave everything to the promotion and got nothing in return. So why? Because they bleed every single time. That line reframed him, and now he became a fighter's advocate. He's not just a boss. So all champions will be part owners.
So I'll touch that on in a second, but let's go back to your thing about.
Yes.
So it was the tough man contest. It was the boxing one.
Yep.
It was the late 90s to early 2000s.
Thank you.
It featured real amateur people boxing. The payout was $1,000 to $50,000,
Which was the most lucrative.
Yes, in that time.
There you go. Thank you. And now you get BKFC's the $25 million tournament
Right.
and the $15 million purse.
And then at the end of the day, and the most that somebody's going to win if you win the whole tournament is going to be 15 mil. That's still a lot to walk out away with.
Yeah.
It's 15 mil. Even if you lose, bro, you're walking out with $1,000.
Right.
Guaranteed. That's ridiculous. And then you're talking about the equity, right?
Hold on. Let me find something. How long? Maybe this is it. Maybe this is it. Sean, reach over, hit that button.
What button?
That button by you.
This one?
Yep.
So you look at it, and then you go over to now the equity part. So not only are they tipping the edge, right, with the most lucrative in all of professional combat sports, you're talking about the equity move, right?
Yep.
You're talking about another game-changing aspect of David Feldman. And again, that was also probably helped with Conor McGregor's business mindset. He may not do things that people like or adore, whether it's the latest photo of him cheating on his wife, or the
That
photo,
is wild.
or the photo in the bathroom, or whatever it may be. When you put all those shenanigans away, Tristan,
And we talk about the business mindset.
You can see how business savvy this guy really is, and how he puts everything together from top to bottom, and how he's able to get the most out of his time. Whether it is weird, quirky, or uneventful, he's able to switch on a dime and change the game. Whether it's him becoming a co-partner in purchasing BKFC, whether it's him having a little bit of stake in helping David Feldman do the equity portion for the champions in BKFC, which is, that's just in itself so outstanding to hear, because if we can't get a union, this is at least giving the fighters an opportunity to still have a payday.
Give them something.
Right. Win, lose, or draw.
But man, Sean, global, they're going to Rome. They're going to Manchester So it's not just now the U.S. This was only just their launch pad. They got global and big intentions to take over that. So, and then we're talking about, again, right, taking over the whole entire atmosphere. Well, what happens about what's next if you take over a whole entire city? Well, House of the Rising Sun? We're going to the Bayou? Dustin Poirier versus Max Holloway? And we going straight for the BMF title. And they want Young Money, Little Weezy, to put the title around their waist. We'll see if that actually happens.
I don't think fight fans would have thought that we would see Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier 3 again for Dustin Poirier to go out this way.
Or even potentially Max Holloway to go out this way.
Well, when there's a draw, Tristan, this is Dustin Poirier's end.
Last hurrah, yes.
So he's going out on his shield, bro. He's going out against Max Holloway for the BMF title on their shield.
Fight of the night, because these guys are going to throw and they ain't going to stop. Because Max Holloway has absorbed over 2,000 strikes in his career. He's also a max output guy. So trust me, there will be no breaks. What is it? What is the whole Jacob Fatu? I'm all gas and no brakes. Yup. That's going to be Max Holloway.
He'll beat you from post to post, from coast to coast.
Yep.
So you look at this one, and Dustin Poirier is 2-0 against Max Holloway. But Dustin Poirier has nothing to lose. This is what makes him the most dangerous coming into this fight, Tristan, is because of the fact that, bro, I bet you 10-1 he has no fear.
John.
Because he's gonna step in that cage and just throw hands.
When you look at his last fight, or you look at the Volkanovski trilogy, right? Striking became superior, became better. Then he slept Justin Gaethje. He's proved now that, again, precision and power meet together is impeccable to have, especially with the timing mechanism. Now you put him again against Dustin Poirier, where the first two, I truly believed he lacked the head movement, lacked the precision, and lacked the pacing. All of that has seamlessly changed since the Volkanovski trilogy and sleeping Justin Gaethje. This fight alone, Sean, two fighters, two different stages of their careers now. So here we go. Who do you have as the new BMF champion?
I think it's going to be Max Holloway. I think Max Holloway is going to take that O away from Dustin Poirier. And I believe that Max Holloway is going to win just because, like I said, you've got to feel that Dustin Poirier is just going to lay it all out there. He's got nothing to lose. It's his last fight. So what better way to go against a guy that you know is going to throw a lumber too? The only thing that I can see maybe different is that you got a guy who throws max output, right? Throws so many punches. Well, you also got a guy that pushes the pace, that pushes the pressure. He can make him feel a little bit uncomfortable. So I say Max Holloway, but I'm just going to sit back and enjoy this fight like a normal fan. And I think what a lot of people are going to do on Saturday is do the exact same thing, is enjoy this fight night. Enjoy this moment of seeing two epic boxers in UFC. I just hope that we get the Max Holloway from his last fight. Not a guy that looks tired. Not a guy that looks fatigued.
But what can you expect, though, when you start breaking down the card? Because you got Kevin Holland versus Daniel Rodriguez. Rodriguez is a gritty pressure fighter.
And Holland's striking is unpredictable.
Right.
And the thing about Holland is like, dude, this guy shows up sometimes and then doesn't show up other times. So you look at this fight and you're like, okay, he has 13 wins via submission. Gonna get to the ground? That's maybe where this fight wants to end up, is on the ground. If you're looking at Holland, you kind of want to go there. You don't want to stand up with Rodriguez.
And if you're just tuning into us too, guys, Tristan DuCross, Sean DuCross, I really got to be aware of breaking this up too. We're the DuCross Brothers, the Sports Warriors. We cross that line Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're a combat sports talk show. So go ahead, drop some likes on us, and then hit us up, subscribe to us, and stay up to the know with what we do. We're a new, I wouldn't say new, we've been around the block. But we do give you a fresh, different takes on a lot of the stuff.
Almost.
Right. That's true.
Isn't that weird to say?
A little bit. Why did you have to say it out loud? God damn, it makes me feel old. Shit. I already feel old. Then you go through out 2 decades.
Yeah, these guys just need to hit that button that gets us from 1 to 20.
Right?
Whatever that is.
Let them cook. That's what that is. Go ahead. Hit that in the upper right-hand corner. Right above my head. You could just hit that, let them cook. But yeah, Sean, David Rodriguez is known for being a southpaw and switchy, which causes problems. And most of the time, Holland has an issue because he likes range, and you can't do that with a guy that switches stance and unorthodox. So it's going to be interesting to see that fight because, I mean, even his ground game is inconsistent.
But if you look at Holland is one of those guys that when he's on, he's on. He knocked out Santiago Ponzinibbio and finished Alex Oliveira.
Sean.
With style, with flash. So he has Alex Oliveira on his record, bro.
My guy. Over under how many talking memes are we going to get from Holland during this fight?
3?
3? Okay, I'd go 4.
I guess we'll find out.
Right. This, at some point, this guy's going to talk in the fight. And I hope he gets smashed in the face when he tries to say something.
But getting smashed in the face used to be Pitbull.
Bellator, Hall of Famer,
Did
UFC.
you really just call him a Hall of Famer?
I said Bellator.
Is there even a thing?
Probably not, but he could be. Because Bellator's non-existent, at least in my eyes. I don't care what anybody says. Bellator doesn't exist anymore. They were swallowing up. It's not the same. But outside, Sean, you could see that Patricio Pitbull, you could say that he has had a UFC-type level Hall of Fame career if it was UFC. But again, you jump over to UFC, it seems to be a different beast, has it not?
It's proven it time again that you and I have been right that anybody that comes over from Bellator generally doesn't do very well transitioning initially.
So what do you think is going to happen when Dan Ainge steps inside that, when he looks across and you see the Pitbull, who is an undersized featherweight with KO power? And Dan is used to fighting in these firefights,
which could benefit Pitbull.
Because if you're going to get into a full-out phone booth type, drag them out, knock them out fight, I don't think you want to be in that phone booth with Pitbull.
But the question is that if you are in that phone booth with Pitbull, are you going to get the old school Pitbull or the guy that hasn't fought since April? Is there going to be cage rust? Is he going to be quick enough for the UFC speed?
Which is why I don't think it is in the best interest for Dan Ainge to step in there and go balls to the wall and then try to dog walk him when, bro, you're playing right into the den of the Pitbull. You just unhook that chain right off that cage. You put them right there in that phone booth. I'm going Pitbull all day. I don't want that power. I don't want that short, stocky guy right on the knee, right on the leg. Not about that. Not about that. Dan Ainge, he's going to have to bring it. He should know that he's in a fight.
So it sounds like you got Pitbull in this one.
I got Pitbull.
I like Pitbull. I'm going to say Pitbull. There's two other fight cards, two other fights that are on the preliminaries that are of a little bit of interest. Marvin Vettori versus Brendan Allen, middleweight. Michael Johnson versus Daniel Zellhebner? Is that how you say it?
Which, again, we haven't heard really much of anything from Vettori. Last time I heard anything about him was when he went the distance with Adesanya. That was the last time I heard that name. And then you bring it up on this.
And he's on the undercard for a reason.
Yeah. I mean, he's one of the best fighters at 185, or was one of the best fighters at 185. He is a durable guy, not really injury prone. But you got Brendan Allen, I mean, a submission guy.
Versus a guy who's never been submitted?
Right. So
that's weird.
It is. I don't know how I feel about this matchup.
Bro had 25 professional fights and not submitted once? And you're facing a submission guy?
Right.
All right. Good luck, Brandon Allen. You do you, boo.
Right. The only thing that I could say, Sean, is please, I'm begging you at the top of my mind. Vettori, if I have one thing to say to you, bro,
keep the fight standing.
Please do not overshoot your scrambles. If you do, trust me, you're done.
Are you thinking that Brandon Allen's going to submit him?
If Vettori gets overzealous, it's night-night tap out. I love you, but it's...
And then you got Michael Johnson, who's a veteran, versus Daniel Zellhebner, who is a little green, a little rough around the edges, versus a guy who's a very experienced fighter. Can a fighter who's who's a little bit of green end up taking over and defeating a guy who has some type of experience that can overshadow everything?
So, I left at this matchup because, again, when we do our research, right, you're looking at Michael Johnson, who, you know, has beaten Dustin Poirier, Edson Barboza, Tony Ferguson, right? That guy.
Gatekeeper.
That guy.
Gatekeeper.
That guy.
The king of purgatory.
Zellhebner. Let me put this in perspective.
He floats between top and bottom.
Dude is 6'1" with the wingspan of 77 inches, bro. You tell me how Michael Johnson is supposed to close that distance and maintain his same output in the rounds. He like gonna have to duck and weave and try to get under just to get close.
He's gonna have to roll and avoid those strikes very much so. But that's one of the things
Zellhebner just has to go like tap. Oh, you're coming in to get tap.
But that's what I was saying. Like, this is one of the things to watch for. It's one of the events, one of the fight cards to watch for, is because this one is a little bit unique. It's different for that reason alone.
But a fight to watch.
Again, the packedness, Tristan, of Saturday, July 19th is out of control. Because you have UFC, 318. You have Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios.
His return.
You got Usyk versus Dubois 2. All on July 19th. What are you watching? What are you taping? What has you going, oh my God, I'm going to watch that.
Mine is on the channel for Manny Pacquiao, the 45-year-old, in the shocking return when you knew it wasn't really shocking because boxers don't know when enough is enough. But still, Manny Pacquiao looks so good right now. Still looking fast, still looking quick.
It's one thing to look quick. It's one thing to look sexy in your warm-ups. But can you do that when it's showtime, when it's game time? Are you still that guy? Do you still have that twitch?
Can he overcome, though, Manny Pacquiao, I'm saying, can he overcome a 4.5-inch reach? I mean, a 4.5 height advantage and a 3-inch reach advantage. Can he overcome that?
And a much younger fighter than him.
Because Barrios' guard is notoriously high. So if he's high and he has that range and he can look out at you and he can figure out where that punch is coming from and he could see by looking at the sternum and seeing the twitch and he could see it, that's the boxing IQ. Barrios is a very, very disciplined jabber. He's the guy that beat Ugagas.
Yeah.
Yodanis Ugagas.
I almost forgot about that fight.
Right. See?
I was like, wait, what is he trying to say?
He's the one that, behind the jab, knocked him down.
He almost lost that fight.
Yes.
I remember that one.
He has fought at 140. He has fought at 147. He is very disciplined in his game and in what he does. The biggest question coming out of this fight is, can Pacquiao recapture his timing, recapture his pace against a younger, more active fighter, naturally bigger opponent for the first time in his career, physically in his prime?
And that's an interesting question because, yeah, you look at Mario Barrios, okay? You look at Manny Pacquiao, 45 years old, been away for a minute. Mario Barrios has took on guys like Gervonta Davis, taken on guys like Keith Thurman. By all accounts, punch harder than Manny Pacquiao. Taking way more punishment from those two guys than what probably physically what Manny Pacquiao could do to him. You talk about, what was his name? You say his name. Ugagas?
Yes.
If that fight was close, this fight could lean on the ladder of Mario Barrios because of the fact that the staple of Mario Barrios is that he's fought more consistently. He has fought harder hitters. So there isn't a whole lot that Manny Pacquiao can throw at him that makes him worry in my eyes. Mm-hmm. Because you talk about the reach. You talk about, got to keep that jab out there, right?
Don't forget.
You talk about the
height.
The thing that Manny Pacquiao has to do is he's got to get on the inside. He's got to cut off the ring. He's got to hit combos on the inside. Is he still quick enough
to get inside
against a younger, faster, durable guy? You've got so many question marks for Manny Pacquiao coming into Saturday than you really do with Mario Barrios. You're wondering, why is he wanting to collect this paycheck? Why would you take this fight?
Especially after 3 years off. Like, that's my question. Because he's the god in Philippines. Like, he's like F.U. rich in the Philippines.
Well, wasn't he supposed to be like the president of the Philippines
Right.
at one point? And then he's like, oh, there's 5 minutes
We got
left.
5 minutes left. I do like that.
Right? 5 minutes left. The end of the bell. The end of the round. We got to make this quick.
Yep.
So, So when you do this, it's hard to really bet against Manny Pacquiao at this point.
Who do you got? I got Barrios.
I want to go Barrios, but just because it's Manny Pacquiao, I'm going to ride Manny Pacquiao. But I hope that next week when I come back, I go, ha ha, he lost. Mm-hmm. But speaking about who do you think is going to lose, is we get Usyk versus Dubois 2, where the last fight that they had, Tristan, was centered around
controversy on a low blow.
On a low blow.
Yeah.
You finally saw that. I've been sitting on it for a while. I didn't see it being a low blow. I didn't see it either. But it left a lot of people questioning. But now here we are, finally getting the second bout.
Yep.
You got perhaps one of the best pure boxers in all of boxing with Usyk. If he defeats Daniel Dubois unscathed, is he the king of kings now?
Yes. 100%.
Who's left for him to really fight?
Exactly.
Because he fought the best of the best at one point, which was Tyson Fury.
Yep. And as long as Tyson Fury is not there and not spoken about, Dubois will be the talk of the town. But where we should be is the talk of the town. As Sean, we're the DuCross Brothers. I'm Tristan DuCross. This is Sean DuCross. Go ahead, hit us subscribe. We do this every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We have a incredible show next week, episode 204. So go ahead, give us a follow, a share, catch the replay. You know the drill. Same bat channel, same time, live right here on TikTok. Cross that line if you want real talk, real takes, unfiltered, unscripted, with your boys, Sean and Tristan DuCross.
2 things before we go out.
Shoot it.
We didn't give our pick on the Usyk Daniel Dubois fight.
I got Dubois.
You got Dubois.
Yes.
I got Usyk. Just too much skill, too much lateral movement, too much for Dubois.
I'm over Usyk. I'm sorry. I will.
Why, you don't want him to rap?
Yes.
But you know what I want to hear on our way out?
Yep.
I want to hear our song again.
All right.
We will see you all next week.
Yep.
Gloves on, legs, hearts on fire. This ain't no game, it's desire. Sweat and blood pound the floor. Fight night, here we go. The bell rings loud, the punches flow. Step in the ring, it's all for show. Bright lights cut through the haze. Every round feels like a blaze. No retreat, it's time to go. Feels like a blaze. No retreat, it's time to go.